Hi, my name is Ben Saville. I'm a services executive in the UK public sector. I'm here to talk about the Metropolitan Police Service and a recent deal we've done with services, a $7.5 million deal, the first phase of a transformational piece of work. Metropolitan Police Service are the second biggest police force in the world with over 50,000 users and 35,000 frontline officers. They're in a period of transformation as well. They've just outlined a 3-year business vision called the 2020 vision, which is kind of the anchor really to everything that we did. So everything that we proposed to them was around this. So reducing crime rate by 20%, increasing public perception by 20%, all of the backdrop of a reduction in budget by 20%. So that was critical in everything that we did. Also, there was some very public news around the state of their IT environment. So things like, anecdotally, 30 minutes to log on to a PC gave us some ammunition. You know, if you just work out the numbers of 30 minutes to log on, 30 minutes to log off, the amount of cost savings we could realise by transforming the way they do things. And also things like, 85% of their budget, pretty significant IT budget, spent on just keeping the lights on rather than transforming. And also custom support, Microsoft and non-Microsoft, within 3 years will be 90% in custom support. So we're in a hole, and they need to get out of that. And that's where we started our engagement. There were a couple of major catalysts really to how we got engaged here with the customer. The firstly was a new CIO joining, somebody who we had a previous relationship. We'd done a lot of business with him before, and he came in as a change agent for the Metropolitan Police. Also, another key thing was the signature of an enterprise agreement. So they had entitlement to all this fantastic range of Microsoft software and services, but no deployment plan at all over the next 3 years about how they could realize the value of the investment they just made. So two critical things where almost too good to be true for us not to go and have a conversation. Yeah, EPG are absolutely critical in this deal. The enterprise agreement was the backdrop, and it was very much a case of, how do we go and implement that? They'd also realized that the existing partner were not really capable, or certainly not being aggressive enough in the deployment plan of actually making that investment real. There was nothing on the table, there was no real interest. And so we started working closely about actually how can we make this real? How can we make this happen? How can we actually realize the benefits of the software they just invested in? There's some amazing stories about the legacy IT infrastructure. Some of our guys said it's the worst they've ever seen in any customer they've been engaged in. So up to 40-year-old systems in some instances. From a Microsoft perspective, pretty much everything legacy and pretty much everything moving into custom support. We did an analysis and worked out that their exposure would be in the region of around $40 million over the next 3 years if they did nothing just on custom support with Microsoft. So on the desktop, XP and Office 2003, in the server, Windows 2000, Exchange 2003. It's a mess that needed really transforming. There wasn't a public tender in the end. We managed to convince them, or I think they convinced themselves, that this was a single source. So the value that we added, the uniqueness that we could bring, the CSA proposition that we built in, they went out to the market and couldn't find anybody who could do what we could do. There was competition. It started off with a bit of a beauty parade, if you like, in terms of the partner market in the UK. And what they wanted was a vision. So at the start, when we presented our vision, so did a number of other companies. We were deemed the highest risk but highest reward. So that's why they progressed discussions with us. And all along, we were competing really with their current outsource partner, the one who had the contract in place. It was very easy for them just to progress with them. But their change program was around 2.5 years, moving forward to Windows 7 and no real transformation. Ours was in 12 months, Windows 8.1 and a whole range of transformational services around that. We started setting the vision by what I call earning the right to have that discussion in the first place. So we had that relationship and we went in, but it wasn't just a case of going in and listening. We wanted to go in with something where we thought we could deliver some value from the very first meeting. So the team did a hell of a lot of research before we even went in the first place and really earned the right to have that conversation. It wasn't a typical Microsoft conversation. It was about how we could impact their business. That soon then moved into, we earned that right and we went into something called RED, which is a research and vision and design. So rapidly going to try and understand the problems that they have and how technology can have an impact. So the guys, some of the team who were involved in this, they were sat in the back of police cars, they were in a custody suite, they were engaging with users, they were understanding where the problems are from the business perspective and potentially where IT could be an enabler. Once we identified that, we spoke back to the Met and said, here are some of our ideas. And then we started envisioning that, so creating screenshots of what things could look like. We got a tick in the box again and then started developing that. So designing actual mock-up of applications to show it and go back to the business and go, would this have an impact? So very quickly, from not really having a relationship to probably 6 weeks, we understood the business, started developing applications and looking at them and going, is this going to work for you? And the answer is yes, that could absolutely transform what we do. It's an interesting one to go through this process because it has a lot of faith that we're doing the right thing and ultimately they're going to sign the check at the end of it. We, all along from a sales perspective, I did what we call flinch testing. So as we built up more information, I gave them a flinch test as we think we're positioning this and it's going to cost you approximately that. So we were very easily and quickly able to fail fast or succeed quickly and qualify in or qualify out. And all along, our proposition got more detailed, more accurate, as did the costs. But so that we weren't investing needless amounts of time, we did a series of regular flinch tests with them. Value to the customer, firstly, is around public perception. The front page of BBC News recently about how poor their IT is, spending £1 billion over 10 years and not doing anything with it. So we have given them a plan for the commissioner to stand up and be proud. Also, for them, for Microsoft, it's a game changer. We've done things differently. For them, it's potentially a life changer. So some of the things we're doing enables the police front line to actually go and solve crimes quicker, spot crimes that they wouldn't normally have spotted. So it's a real big difference there. And to Microsoft, it is a game changer. It's the first one really in the UK public sector where we've managed to get out the stranglehold of XP. It's a huge problem for us and we need to move our customers forward and transform outside of their current outsourced contracts. And this absolutely does that. Yeah, so to other sellers, I would just say be bold and be creative and really push the boundaries. In Microsoft, we're certainly constrained about what we can do, but I think it's knowing what we can flex and what we can't flex. I think within this deal, we got SPD on board very quickly and and socialised with them what we wanted to do. We wanted to take risk. We wanted to share the risk with the customer. We wanted to be bold. We wanted to guarantee timescales. So yeah, I would definitely go, we need to be bold. We need to be creative. That's what we should be doing. There were a lot of thanks to a lot of people. This was a huge team effort. Obviously, within a team effort, there were some, big players within that. I think calling out firstly the UK strategy and innovation team who really helped shape what this deal looked like. So particularly the innovation, the transformational aspects, and the creative aspects as well, which are not typical in some of the things that we do. Secondly, EPG. So this really is a great example of services and EPG working together. From my point of view, with the team, the whole breadth of that team, we got fantastic support in terms of brokering relationships and also the kind of deployment plan of what we wanted to do. And also from an exec perspective, so Nick Corrigan and Michelle van der Bell have been involved every step of this and continue to support this into project phase.